Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to bring you a deck profile because I was just at the Connecticut Regional this past weekend and I wound up getting 13th place. There was 450 people there. We waited for like 2.5 hours in the line. It was pretty ridiculous, but I figured I'd bring it to you anyway. The deck is Spirals. It's a pure Spiral build, and if I'm going to be completely honest, there isn't a whole lot that's super special about it. So I'm going to jump right into it. 2 DD Crow, 2 Droll and Lockbird. These are both really good all day. Droll, I didn't actually play against any other Spiral players. I just got super lucky, but I did use Droll and Lockbird against some Salamangreat players, and that like effectively shut down their turn. Uh, yeah, so those two, they were fine. I don't know. Joel Mockbird, I think, isn't very versatile against the whole field. So if I think next time I might just replace it with a hand trap that's better and that's more versatile, that's also good against spirals, but we'll have to see going forward. I was playing Magician Souls. Card's fantastic all day. Obviously, all right, in the standard spiral lineup, 2 Master Plan, 2 Super Agent. I was playing Tough. Tough is so freaking good. If you're playing this deck, just test out Tough. If you don't want to test out Tough, just do it. See how it works for you. It's going to work really good. In a simplified game state, which this deck does really well, I think this deck plays in a simplified game state better than almost any other deck in the format, because the game state is simplified until it's just simply not, until you top deck that like 1 Monster Reborn card. This deck is really good in a simplified game state, and Tough and Super Agent both really help out with that. All right. All the standard one-ofs, Resort, Sleeper, Quick Fix, Drone. This monster lineup, again, it's really not anything special, so I'm not going to act like I can go too in-depth about any of that. Next is the spells. Assault, Resort, Upstart Goblin, Monster Reborn, World Legacy Succession. This is like the one deviation that you're going to find from my build and pretty much every other build. So the second place PPG list was playing Armageddon Knight, and I think the only difference in this deck between that list is I just replaced Armageddon Knight with World Legacy Succession. It came up, and it would have been absolutely broken if I wasn't a dingus and put Master Plan into my Linkaribo zone. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just move on. Terraforming, 1 for 1. Foolish Burial. These are all the power cards. I mean, Rhoda, double Big Red, triple Goods, triple Where Art Thou, MVP of the entire day, triple Called by the Grave. Oh my god, people tried trolling me left and right, and like every time I had the Called by the Grave, I thank this card in particular for getting 13th. It was great. It was great all day. And even in the grindy matchups, like versus Salamangreat, like it's just really, really good. It's essentially 5 DD Crows in your deck with that card. So, yeah. Anyway, this lineup is pretty essential. All of these like power one-ofs make it so that each individual card in your hand has to be answered. And if they don't have sometimes like 4 answers to your whatever you're doing, you're just gonna blow them out. I was playing against an Altergeist player, and his hand was Multi-Faker, 4 traps, including a Solemn Judgment, Infinite Impermanence, Crackdown, and he went first. He set all 4, held the Multi-Faker in hand, and I just played through all of it. Went into the battle phase. It was game 3, evenly matched, baited out the Solemn. It was just really good. All right, then the 4 traps. Utility Wire is really good. If you're not playing this, it's one of those things where right now everybody is trying to beat spirals. And because there's a focus on trying to beat spirals, you're more often going to go into a simplified game state than not. So it's going to be less often that you're going to set up the God board and then make them quit. And more often, they're going to pick apart your board kind of piece by piece. And you're going to have maybe like 2 cards in hand, 1 card on field with your Resort on field, and you're going to have to go into a grind game. And I really recommend Utility Wire if you're not playing it. It's just really, really good. All right. That was it for the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck. I'll kind of talk about all of these real quick. Appaloosa, Borreload Dragon, Boral Sword Dragon, like just so good. I didn't go into Borload all day, but I feel like it's a necessary evil. People are playing things like Evermax and all that, try and out this deck. So, and the deck doesn't really have a lot of main deck outs to it, so you have to play it. Appaloosa, I mean, we all know how good that is. Unicorn, Curious, Trigate for the Link 3s. I didn't go into Trigate pretty much at all today. Why? Well, if I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't get any sleep, and I botched about half my combos. So yeah, it was a well-deserved 13. Curious, I didn't go into it all day, but you do need it sometimes. Actually, I did go into it once, and I kept it on field, and its effect to... So they bounced it back to the extra deck with Unicorn, and when it leaves the field, you get to add the card back from your graveyard. So yeah, I was playing against a Pendulum player, so he bounced it back to my extra deck, and I'm just like, add Monster Reborn from graveyard to hand. He's like, what? Even got like 2 judges involved for the ruling, and ultimately it was ruled that, yeah, even when it's bounced back, you get to add from grave to hand. Anyway, the Link 2s, so you play 2 double helix. It came up twice that they outed my double helix. I had to go into an Appaloosa. We played, they outed the Appaloosa, and then during my turn, I just summoned Super Agent and then linked into a double helix, and then went off from there. You need to play 2. IP Masquerade, for the Link 2s, continuing. Masquerade, Phoenix, Cerberus, Barricade Board Blocker. Let me make sure that's on screen. There's kind of glare. Alright. Okay, so I didn't go into Masquerade all day. I feel like there could be an argument for cutting it, but I understand how good it is, and I wouldn't cut it. I wouldn't be comfortable with cutting it, but I feel like there could be arguments with cutting it. I didn't go into it one time. You don't go into it with your standard combo. You only ever should go into it if they break your combo during your board, but even then, you just go into Appaloosa, and I would rather go into an Appaloosa than a Masquerade. Phoenix, obvious. Barricade Board Blocker, MVP of the whole day, obviously. I literally found out about the combo with Barricade Board Blocker and Spiral Resort during round 3 while I was 3-0. And I was in between rounds, and the dude is just like, yeah, that deck is broken. You just let Resort die after you Barricade Board Blocker, and then add it to your hand during the end phase if you don't complete your whole combo. I'm like, what? I proceeded to go 3-0, and every single game, I use that combo. Like, turn 1, you don't even have to commit Sleeper. You can hold it in hand just in case they're going to be breaking your board. And then you could add the Resort back to hand. And then next turn, like, just go off. Cerberus, I didn't play it all day, but you absolutely need it because this deck's out to Baguska. People are starting to play Baguska. And I'm going to have the 3rd place Solomon Great list deck profile up on my channel pretty soon here. And he's playing Baguska, and he has a combo that he very reliably goes into at turn 1. So you need to be playing this. It's like you're 1 out. Linkuriboh. This is the card that I went into all day when I bricked and had to end my turn on, well, Linkuriboh. But yeah, you need it. Abyss Dweller, Starling. Starling, obviously, I went into all day. Abyss Dweller, I did not. I mean, let's be honest. Unless you're forcing yourself to go into a rank 4, and you can with almost any hand, you'd almost rather just go into your regular combo. I played this for the graveyard-based decks, and I didn't shut anybody out with this all day. So I don't think that Dweller is really necessary. But then again, I didn't really play against any Spiral players, so I don't quite know how it'll shut them down. I would almost rather play Baguska, because I feel like that's more powerful against Spirals. But if Spiral does catch on and changes their deck to play Cerberus, then I don't know. I don't know. I would have to do some more playtesting. But Dweller didn't come up all day. Unfortunately, Dweller and Masquerade didn't come up all day. Borload also didn't come up, but there's never a time where I'd be cutting Borload. It's just too good. All right. Anyway, let's talk about the side deck. I don't have too much. Oh, I got a little bit of space in the side deck. All right, side deck. Triple Twin Twister. This was for back row decks. I played 3 back row decks, and I didn't draw Twin Twisters a single time. I was going to be cheeky and put in Twin Twisters versus Solomon Great, and I drew both Twin Twisters, and he ended on no spell and traps, besides the field spell. So yeah, take that with what you will. But you need it. You absolutely need it. Also, side decks are starting to play Mystic Mine, so I feel like having a reliable out to Mystic Mine for this deck in particular, you need it. So I would almost up the spell and trap destruction. But yeah, so 3 evenly matched. God, this card is good. I mean, come on, there's not really much to say about it. 3 Solemn Judgment. So I was a little bit worried that this idea was going to be a little bit outdated. But the idea is, if you know that you're going first, you side in the Solemn Judgment so that when your opponent goes and they activate Evenly Match or Dark Ruler no more, you have the out to it. And that actually came up today. So I knew that I was going to go first. I put in the Solemn Judgments. I made my board, and my opponent goes, activate Evenly Match, and I just dropped it. And the guy is just like, extends the handshake. He's like, you know what? That's the only out to your board that I had. So you've got it. So yeah, I would continue to play this in the future. This card gives you a safety blanket and allows you to turn 1, extend. If you draw it, you can extend much farther and not have to worry about being outed. All right, the monsters for the extra deck. We got Pankratops. I mean, it's so good going second. I would actually side second going a lot for this deck, and it worked once. But Pankratops, if you know that you're going second, is just so good and versatile. I need to make sure that there's no glare. Yep, okay. Double Nibiru. Double Nibiru, I don't know about this card. Everybody plays around it because they know that it's in the format. So there were a few times where it would just be sitting in my hand. There were a few times where it was just an absolute blowout. It is the only reason that I won up against a Mech Knight Invoked player, because I set a card my face down in my rightmost zone. He sets his card and starts to go off, and I just kind of put my hand down. And I was just like, yeah. He goes into his like 7th summon. I dropped the Nibiru, and it immediately ended his turn and made us go into a simplified game state, which I mean, like I said, SPYRAL in a simplified game state is almost unstoppable. All right, Sphere Mode. This was going to be for the mirror match, and I didn't play the mirror match. Would I play it again? Yeah, I would absolutely play it again. I think that this deck really does need something besides the evenly matched and the Nibiru to out the guard board for SPYRAL, and yeah, so I think Sphere Mode, I think it's really good. And then last but not least, Gaga Cowboy. I didn't go into time all day today, or yesterday. If I did, I absolutely would have had plenty of resources to do this. I am going to be releasing a video on 3 SPYRAL combos that you need to know to play the deck, and you can do a variation of each one of them to go into Cowboy. So if you know that you're going to go first, game 3, you got like 3 minutes on the clock. You do your regular combo and do this variation, and then end on Cowboy, and then Cowboy for game, basically. So good. I would still play it because I really, really hate the new time rules, and I think that this is the perfect card to take advantage of that, and I feel like you just need something. It's the difference between 1 and 0 points in your final score, and that's important on a long event. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think. That 3rd place deck profile is going to be up. The guy is really awesome. It's a really smart deck profile, or really smart build for the deck, so I'm excited to put it up. That's going to be later today, hopefully, if not tomorrow. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you next time.